Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. Well, we're back for another live vlog. Firstly, what I'd like to say is apologies if I'm blowing my nose and whatever else. I've just woke up this morning with an absolutely stinking cold. Don't know, went to bed last night, felt great, and woke up this morning. Afternoon, Calvin, and I feel absolutely shocking. But anyway, it's not going to stop us. I'm not going to chicken out doing a live vlog. What's your score for tomorrow? It says Dunk. I'm going for City 3-1. 3-1 win, mate. And oi, Andy from Hamburg, Gary Dineen. How are you, mate? Hamburg, hey. How's the red light district over there, buddy? City fan forever. Good morning. Good morning. Where are you from? If it's morning, you in the States? Mark Welch. Afternoon, mate. I'm off to work on weekends, and my son is in Liverpool for the weekend. Hi, Andy, Daniel, Naaman. How are you? Gary Dinino. Yeah, I just feel absolutely rubbish, but it's not going to stop us doing a live vlog. There's no way. Got a few things to talk about today. Love life, yeah. Yeah. City fan for a Commonwealth of Dominica. City fan forever. Commonwealth of Dominica. Wow, that's the first on this. Get on with it, you soft lettuce. Yeah. That's the first, the Commonwealth of Dominica. That's first from that city. I'm nervous, sorry. I always forget I need to put this out and get this up on my laptop. Let's get this up and then I can catch up with some of yours. Do you want Aaron Wan-Bissaka, says Tom. Yeah, I'd like him. Afternoon, Andy Raynall. How are you, Chris Baker? So you think Bernardo will start tomorrow, or do you think Pep will save him for Tottenham? I think he'll start if he's fit. He'll start. I think tomorrow's a big game. Mark Walsh, I'm not sure if my son will comment. Today's probably out in Liverpool shopping centre. Well, that's fine, mate. Sniffles, Michael Tag wants his spaghetti. John Walters, we have got to meet up because you're the weirdest person I've ever met on this channel, but I love it. Gary Diney, didn't see the game midweek. What was the story? Yeah, a bit of a strange setup, mate. And look back on some of the videos that we've done. Forzan Ufan says, score prediction against Palace. I said already, mate, 3-1. You need to tune in at 1600. City fan forever, we should try and get Grimaldo as a left back. It's certainly one we've spoke about before. Hi, Shai Mohammed, how are you? Follow us on Twitter, Man City Ray. Yeah, Man City _ Ray. And mine is at Aviation Blue, though those are capitals, capital A, capital B. Liked the Puma video. Good, I'm glad you liked it. It was a bit of a rush because I had to go out, so I had to only select a certain amount of kits that were out there, but there's some absolute beauties. And what are your thoughts on the video from yesterday I did on the concept kits? And give us your comments on what you think. Which ones would be your favourite coloration? Because there's all different styles. I prefer a sort of V-necky type one, me personally. But what about the colours? Follow us on Instagram, says Man City Ray. Yeah, Man City _ Ray. Hi, MTB. Mark the Blue. Hi, Andy. How are you, mate? You all right, buddy? Just read them as they come up. Who should be backup keeper next year? I would like Muric. It all depends on what's going to happen with Bravo this season. Hi, Andy. Kamal Dwyer. How are you, buddy? Mark Welsh. Can't wait for tomorrow. Massive day for both of us. Son says he's nervous. It's been all week. It's going to be two massive games. Palace is not going to be easy away tomorrow. And obviously playing Chelsea, your sort of nemesis, is going to be a difficult game for you, Mark. Daniel Nerman, do you think Pep will try to get Joao Felix? Well, it's certainly cheeky Begiristain was there watching not only Luka Jovic and Joao Felix, so I'm sure he was impressed with both of them. Obviously, Jovic scored the equaliser and Joao Felix got a hat-trick for Benfica, so Two players from Benfica, they're gonna, that's gonna make some money for Benfica, because obviously Jovic is on loan at Eintracht Frankfurt from Benfica, and then you've got Joao Felix. So they're going to make some serious corn this summer if they sell both of them. Muric is decent, says City. Tom, he'll be the kid from the States. Yeah, it could be. Could well be. I just need to catch up a little bit here. Sorry. Could we not go back for Pablo Maffeo? He's an out of favourite at Stuttgart, and we get him for less than we sold him. Your thoughts? Maffeo looked very, very good, Dennis. He looked really, really good. And I think that we did loads of videos on him, and he was one that me and Ray certainly were excited about. And his last season's form just absolutely dipped. And when you talk to fans of Stuttgart, they were not impressed with him at all. So I don't know what's happened. It can sometimes happen where kids at that age have a year where they just, everything just goes like that, and it depends on how they come back from it. But there's no doubt in his abilities. I mean, Messi even said and commented just how good he was when he man-marked him. Tom, it'll be the kid from the States. Yep, Muric decent, blah, blah, blah. How are you, Andy Bradner Block? How are you, mate? Hope you're doing well. Hope your appointment yesterday went well, buddy. City fan forever. Do you think we should loan Foden to... No, absolutely no chance. Zach Steffen. Yeah, that's the American keeper. Zach Steffen is he's the one, but we'll see. Kamal Dwyer, how much would Felix cost it? Looking at 120 million euro. I mean, it's a huge amount of money. Kamal Felix will be 100 million, but it'll be 100 million plus, Ray. I think it's 120 million euro release clause. Gary Deneen, can I ask your thoughts on me, racism issue, and walking off the pitch? Gary, I wrote something on this, and I also posted some things on that. I personally think that the refs need to get involved more on that, rather than a player trying to enforce a team to walk off. I think the refs are the one that needs to make the decision and say, right, enough is enough, I'm taking the team off. Because what you're going to get if you think about it, you could have City fans, and this won't happen, but I'm just saying, as giving it an example, City fans or a group giving one player a load of racist abuse, and the City player says, right, that's it, I'm going off, and everybody goes off, and the arguments were, we should get the points for that, and that doesn't seem fair, because at the end of the day, we are talking about a minority. So I think the refs should be the ones that actually take the charge and go, right, I'm taking the players off. We'll decide what's going on, and if the, stewards identified who they are and remove them and blah, 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 blah. But I think the actual teams who are involved in that type of stuff should be heavily fined or points deducted, or, remove a certain section of the fan base away for a one game or whatever. There's got to be something that they can do. Can you believe it's been 5 years since the Gerrard slip? Yeah, it's been a while. Let's go back. Marwatch, hope you're good, Brad. Hope you're doing well. My son wishing you well done. Thanks, Mark, for that. So, believer, what's the issues between Sam Lee and yourself? He always talking shit about the channel. He always talks shit in general, Sam Belieber. So don't believe anything Sam Lee says. He's a bigged up sort of journo that talks utter garbage. So that's why I blocked him. So is there any reason? Because he's friends with Stephen from Esteemed Company. So that's why I blocked him, because all he does is he talks shit in general. I mean, you'll read his articles, they're utter garbage. He thinks because he goes to the odd sort of press conference that he asks a question, and I think some of the questions he asks are absolutely pathetic questions. You think if you're in that position, ask a proper, decent question. It's all about clickbait with Sam Lee. So you only have to say, he said City, so this is what we'll prove this now. Sam Lee said City were guaranteed to be looking at Rodri, and that was the reason why Cheeky was out there, and he's definitely on the #1 target. So if we don't sign Rodri, what does that say about his reporting skills? If we do, yeah, big up. But he's linked us with about 50 players. Now, we're never going to sign 50 players, but every time a player comes up, he links us with them as the player that we're going after. It's just clickbait, 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 clickbait. That's all they're interested in, journalists. What about Alex Garcia from Girona as a CDM? Yeah, I think he's had an in and out season, mate. So Barry Furness and Kendall, if Sam Lee's still talking shit about us, then it's his problem, not ours. Well, yeah, exactly. You've got to remember there are people out there trying to raise their profiles to make money. And that's ultimately what it's all about. It's about making money, getting clicks, getting whatever. Sam Lee is irrelevant. He's the most unreliable City journalist. Kamal Dwyer, thank you. Somebody who talks sense at last. Somebody who can see right through Sam Lee. So there you go. Kamal Dwyer is the one who's actually called him out and said he is what he is, and we agree with you, Kamal. Sorry, buddy, you need to catch up on your vids. No problem, Gary. Go back and check them out. Where should the singling section be at the Etihad? I'd like it to be in the South Stand. Lower 1, lower 2, maybe. Or, lower 1 and 2. And then we've got something that generates this energy. But both sides would be perfect. Yeah, I agree. It's a serious situation, but the refs could issue red cards to accused person who chants racist. Red cards. What are you talking about there, Dennis? Are you talking about the if it's a footballer, an actual footballer on the pitch? I think they should issue a red card and they should be banned for the rest of the season if proven. Simply, it annoys me when journalists ask nonsense questions. Pep's the greatest coach on time. Well, this is my point, Sam Believer. This is my point. And I've said this, and I said this to Sam Lee before I blocked him. And I said to him, you have an opportunity that most of us would absolutely love to have. And that is, you sat in front of Pep Guardiola, the greatest coach on earth, and you talk about transfer targets, and you talk like he's going to turn around to you and say, oh yeah, Sam, yeah, we're definitely in for him, and Cheeky was here last week on there and he spoke to his agent. Just ask him about tactics, about the game, about something that we all love. But you've got to remember, and this is the key thing, Sam Lee is a Man United fan, but he couldn't make any money out of Man United because there were too many of the journalists making it, so he hooked on to Man City. That's Sam Lee in a nutshell. John Walter, Sam Lee ain't Francis Lee, and certainly not Bruce Lee. He ain't, mate. Daniel Neerman, Dele Alli and Kane are injured. Without them, I just can't see. I just can see we will go through. Dele Alli, I think, will play. He's got a cast on his hand because he's broken his wrist. So I think he'll definitely play. What's the situation with Leroy's contract? I've got no problems. I think it'll be signed, no problem. Hi, Kazim Ali. How are you, buddy? Daryl Morton, I've been supporting City since 1963. My favourite player and always will be is Franny Lee. Maybe you've already answered this question, but who's your favourite player of all time, Andy? I've said it all the time, mate, and that leads me on to my next point. So please, everybody, stop sort of tweeting just for 1 second, and then I'll come back to it because I'm going to just spend 1 minute talking about these players, and then you can carry on tweeting and whatever else, making comments, sorry. And on that, Daryl Morton, is we were asked the other day, and remind me, somebody, whoever it was, asked us who mine and Ray's favourite players were from the 70s, 80s, 90s, through to today. So I asked Ray and I said to him, who are yours? Who are your favourite players? So Gary, just hold it for 1 second, mate. And Mark, just hold it for 1 second. And Sampaliba, hold 1 second. Let me just do this, and then you can comment below. So I asked Ray the other day, and I said to Ray, right, we've been asked this great question. We need to put it out because we keep saying we're going to answer the question. So I said to Ray, who are your best players that you liked from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and from 2010 until the present day? So from the 70s, Ray's was Joe Corrigan. Absolute City legend. Mine was Dennis Chewett. Because he scored two. He scored two in the first game I ever saw against Norwich in April 77. So Dennis Chewett was mine, Joe Corrigan's was Ray. We then moved on to the 1980s, and Ray said Paul Power. I said I was tossing up between two, and I couldn't split them, but it was either Paul Lake or David White. In the 1990s, Ray went for King Clancy, And I possibly would have gone for Kinky. So I sort of switched and said Uwe Rosler for me. But Kinky was one of my favourites as well. In the 2000 era, Ray went for Ali Benabia. Wonderful, wonderful player. I went for Sean Wright-Phillips. Played for longer, whatever. And then 2010 until the present day, we both went for our favourites, which I think for me still is the greatest City player right at this moment in time that I've seen in a Man City shirt, and that's David Silva. And Ray went for the same one. So there you go. Whoever asked that question, it was a great question, and we said we would get back to you, and we did get back to you. So Sean Gota, Glenn Mount, yeah, Sean Gota. I was tossing up between Rosler and Gota, but I went for Kinky, but Ray went for Kinky, so I tried to think of the other two. Right, back to your questions. We need to expand the Etihad, says Semperliba. All of our rivals are big stadium, just issues more seasons. We could sell out. I think they're waiting. I said this before, mate. I think they're going to wait until what do the government say and approve on safe standing. And until that is done, sorry, I'm just going to blow my nose. Until that is done and clarified, I don't think City will go anywhere near the expansion of the stadium. Would you sign anyone outside of the top 6 sides for your lot, says Mark Welch? Well, Wan-Bissaka is outside of the top 6, I'd go for him. Chilwell is outside of the top 6, I'd go for him. Several others playing overseas, I would go for. Gary Deneen, when has Pep ever said anything about targets? Never will, because exactly, and that's the point. But like I said, you've got this opportunity in front of the greatest manager in world football, and you talk about transfers like he's going to turn around and say, "Oh, all right, then I'll tell you everything that we're doing." I mean, it's madness. Glenn Melton, Sean Gota, Cameron Dwyer. My mum's cousin was David Rocastle. Oh man, what a player! Not just for City, at Arsenal, he was a wonderful, wonderful player. Kamal. Absolutely exceptional talent. Wonderful. He was a brilliant, brilliant player. Such a shame about him. Tom, when will the government make decision? Don't know. It could be in the next 12 to 18 months. I believe I'm interested in João Felix. He looks like future Ballon d'Or. He looks exceptional, very young, but it's like anything. Like I keep saying, who knows? We're linked with about 30 players if you listen to the media. Fortunately, mate, I have to go take my wife out. Enjoy it. I hope it's not a chicken dinner. I hope you get something else, Mark. Have a curry, as long as it's not sort of egg fried rice, as your son was saying that your curries come with up there in Carlisle. But have a good evening, buddy. Kazim Ali, Palace 0, City 3, Aguero, Stern, De Bruyne. That'd be great, mate. Daffin Presetia, morning. Wow, where are you from? You're new. Where are you from, Daffin? Gary Deneen, Judge Kincladsey, Sean Gold, Paul Lake, Vinny Company. Then brilliant. What would you ask Pep? Oh, that's a good question. And it has something, but it'll take a long answer, so I'll hold it there. It's something I was asked before, months ago, about this very thing. Good choice, Andy Rosler. Daryl Morton said, good McCann morning. Daffin. Where are you from, mate? Because if you're morning, you must be well back. Are you in the United States somewhere? What time are we? Sorry. Glenn Mountain says, I started Sports City when I went to Main Road with York City in the early 90s. What an atmosphere. It was never been to a ground like it before. Followed them since. Brilliant. It was Main Road just because we were garbage, so we had to shout and scream and follow our teams. That's why you get sort of some of the lower level Premier League teams now. The atmosphere is brilliant at their grounds. Daniel Neyman, what do you prefer to watch? Man City versus Barcelona, Man City versus Liverpool, Champions League final. Out the two, I'd go for Liverpool. I'd go for City versus Liverpool in Champions League final because it ramps up the whole jeopardy. And it's like us or them. One of us is going to get grief and the other isn't. Daffin, blah, blah, JK, jealous, what? I don't know what that means, mate. Mangan, wait, I don't know what that means, mate. You have to speak English, buddy. Mark Wells, cheers, Andy, take care. Yeah, good. Have a good weekend, Mark. Deneen, hi Andy, sorry about the spelling. I'm in the gym and all the native Germans looking at me funny. Oh, yeah, maybe, hopefully they're not looking at you in that way, Gary. Yaya Toure, I always thought the other clubs on the City group would be unearthing talent for City. Any prospects out there? I think there's quite a few, mate. That's a video that we might do next week, because that's an excellent point. There are a couple of things. We've seen some come over to the UK, playing for Leeds and others, but that's a good point, and maybe we'll do a video on that. It's too long to talk about on this video. John Walter speaking to a Bolton fan today who says everyone in Bolton don't want Liverpool to win. Ripper, more prison cell blockage for me and sniffles. Tom, when we expand the outside of the stadium. I'll be honest with you, Tom. I don't think the outside needs a makeover. I don't see why we would make it over, mate. Looks perfectly great outside. Glen Mountain, we got to beat Spurs in the second leg. We're going to hammer them. I hope we will anyway. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a tough game. Ready for the game tomorrow? Yes, Kazim. Our women's team are playing tomorrow in the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea. Yeah, I think our under-18s are played United this afternoon. Need to check the score out on that. It's grey and has loads of potholes. What has loads of potholes and what's grey? Outside of our season, our stadium's blue. Mark, do you remember City Reserves matches on a Wednesday night? Free entry season ticket holders, yeah, but that's not the way it is anymore. Chris Baker, 2-2, Andy. You reckon? Are you talking about City Palace, or are you talking about another game? Are you talking about, or was that 2-2? Was that the United game today? Were you talking about the stadium? Why Mangala doesn't play because he's not very good, Daniel. Hi, Andy, everyone. Hope you're all good. Hi, Chris. Your dad said you were out and about shopping. Kids against United. Thank you for that. 2-2. Well, decent result. Kazim, hi, Chris. Glen Mountain, Liverpool defo got a few slip-ups. They've had quite a few slip-ups, certainly. But today, don't forget today, well, this weekend, let's say, rather than today is the exact date, City's 125th anniversary. So when people tell us that we've got no history, yeah, it's our anniversary this weekend over the next few days. I'm sure it's the 16th of December. 16th December. Sorry, I'm too drugged up. I'm sure it's the 16th of April, which is the exact date. I might be wrong, but this weekend marks the 125th anniversary of when Manchester City became Manchester City. Before that, and I was looking back and thought, you know, is the any points that for some of the fans that might not know the history of City, you've got to remember that in 1880. St. Mark's Church forms a football team, which hi Petros, which later evolved into Manchester City, which was 1880. Then in 84 was the first known shirt that was created, and it was this one I posted on my Twitter account earlier saying, should we really celebrate the 125 years anniversary of Man City with it had the Maltese style cross, which was legendary, that went back to, they believe, the Freemasons in the 1880s, and the white cross sort of made a link back to St. Mark's, the church that formed the original football team. So it'd be interesting whether Puma actually do anything with that or make it a commemorative kit this season, or top that fans can buy. Obviously in 1887 I'm talking about, St. Mark's team evolved into what was known as Ardwick AFC, and they moved to sort of High Road. Hi, Minam Motion. In 1889, there was a massive explosion in a nearby coal mine, which resulted in the death of like 23, 24 people, miners at the time. And Ardwick and Newton Heath, which Man United, played a friendly match as to raise money. Good afternoon, Ocean Rage. They played what we would see now as a charity match to try and raise money for the families of the miners in 1889 who died, 23 of them. And that was Ardwick. We'd moved into as Ardwick AFC, and Newton Heath, which Newton Heath became Manchester United. In 1892, the second division of English Football League was created, and Ardwick, which became Man City, were the founder members. In 1894, hence why it's the anniversary, 125 year anniversary, Ardwick AFC reformed as Manchester City, in a bid to try and represent sort of the whole of Manchester. And then in 1889, City finished champions of Division 2, becoming the first team to gain automatic promotion. Don't forget that day, 1889. We were the founder members that created a second division, or a Division 2, because we're a brand new club. And that year we won the promotion into what was sort of the first division, let's say. And then in 1904, our first trophy success was beating Bolton Wanderers in the FA Cup final, at Crystal Palace's ground, of all things, becoming the first Manchester side to win a major trophy. So when we talk about history, absolute history, 1904, City beat Bolton Wanderers in the FA Cup final at Crystal Palace's ground, to become the first Manchester side to win a major trophy. So when people start talking about history and you've got no history and it only started in 2008 and blah, 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 you know, there you go. I've just given you a quick history lesson on Manchester City and how far back we go and what we've done. So what was the reason, Brad Niblock, going back to some of the questions, what was the reasoning behind Mangala's contract? I think it's solely because why let him go in a free when we give him a 12 months, we might get 8 million for him or something in the summer. Hi Andy, hi Chris Welch. I'm so nervous for tomorrow, says Chris Welch. Bet you are, mate. Movie you watched 100 times. Oh, I love movies. I absolutely love movies. Some of them, mate, and probably because I'm way older than you, you probably never watched and thought they were boring in comparison to some of the CGI stuff of today. The Godfather Part 1 and Part 2, I wouldn't say 100 times. I've never watched any movie 100 times, but I've probably watched both of those, and they are 3.5 hours in duration. I've probably watched them about 20 times, I would imagine. That's definitely number one. What else? Once Upon a Time in America, I've watched probably about 10 times. Again, absolutely amazing film. The Commitments, I've watched probably about 10, 15 times. I love that film. Makes me laugh. What else? Goodfellas. I love Goodfellas. There's a film, when we talk about films, there's a film out there, and I keep saying to people, and not many people have ever seen it. Now, it was when I lived in Australia, and this was 1989, 1990. I was in Sydney, and they used to have a wonderful sort of old-fashioned, for me, old-fashioned sort of cinema house, and it had all purple velvet velour sort of seats. You could smoke in there, you could have a beer in there and everything. It was like a real art house type of cinema. And twice a week they used to show sort of all sort of independent films. One of the independent films I saw two films back to back one day. And one of them went on to be an absolute classic, and that was about a year before it really came out in the UK. One of them was Goodfellas, and I saw it and just wrote to my friends to say, you've got to see this film when it comes out. And the other one was called State of Grace, and it was with Sean Penn and with Robin Wright and Gary Oldman, and he was a cop undercover, and it's one of the greatest films I've ever seen. So I saw those two films back to back and thought that there cannot be a film out there that is as good as those two, until I watched Godfather 1, Godfather 2, back to back as well. And I've watched them over and over. Wonderful films. I could talk about movies all day, but I'm not going to. It's a City fan channel. Tom, I'll be watching. Hope they get beat. West Ham, bit of a bogey team. Have you had some heated debates about the old? You've got, oh Jesus, Gary Dineen, you joking? I've had some absolute proper stompers. You should get Tobias on a live stream with you. He's very nice. He is. He's a really nice guy. He's just at the moment. Same with Harry. They're both in their sort of final year of exams at university. So they're struggling at the moment to do what they can for us. But then come the summer, or next few weeks when their exams are over, Semper Liber, they're going to do some live stuff with us, loads of stuff. It's just they've obviously got to focus on their exams, university exams. Hi Andy, Tom, Glenn, me too. Right, I'll have to skip through because I've missed obviously. Andy, what do we do to grow the City Fan TV? We can start interviewing fans from other parts of the world live. Probably Skype, free tickets. Can we donate? What's the plan? Well, we already give free tickets to fans from overseas. We've done that. We've given free tickets to people in this country from Manchester or the surrounding areas. We've done that. We have the likes of Akio in Goa. We've got Tobias in Germany. I've been out whenever I go overseas. I try and, speak to local city, official city supporters clubs. And when I was in Dubai, I met up with the Man City supporters clubs out there, did videos. When I was in Baku in Azerbaijan, I met up with a couple who support City and they took me around. I did some videos with them. So wherever we go, we tend to try and do that. But yeah, if you've got any ideas, then, feel free. If 93-20 happened, you still think we'd be successful? I think if 93-20 didn't happen, we would have won the league at some point. Dunk, we have history. These MF are just bitter. Yeah, I agree, Dunk. You should be a history teacher, Andy. Why is that, mate? It's what my son's studying at uni, to be studying history for his degree. Glenn Mountain, if only United fans that go about history, they have no... Yeah, you're going to get it. Yeah, we've done some nice promos, gifted to David Whitebut's fundraising for Vincent Company. Yeah, we have. We've done loads of stuff like that. Daniel Nerman, do you think Otamendi will leave this summer? No, I don't think he will. Niall says, Andy, big question, but which teams would make up the perfect Premier League? Would you get Sheffield teams back? Forest, who would you? I'd get Leeds back, definitely. Because Leeds fans and United fans hate each other. Sheffield teams, yeah, I'd get both of those back. Without shadow of doubt. It's great to see Wolves back in the Premier League. So yeah, Leeds definitely, and I'd have both Sheffield teams back in. Chris, I hope there's Hadders Masterclass incoming. So do I. Rocky 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1 was all right. 2 and 3 were good. 1 was okay. Yeah, I signed the champion shirt. Yeah, Chris Welch. Whole Rocky Balboa set, Star Wars, or the whole James Bond set, loads for me. Yeah, Star Wars, the original, when I was a kid, was absolutely amazing. I went to the cinema to watch it. The rest of them, I can't even remember what they're called. Empire Strikes Back, I thought was good. The rest of them, not interested in. James Bond, yeah, I like James Bond. Daniel, don't think Otamendi will last best to leave. Yeah. Quiz game. Hi, mate. Where are you from? You're new. Zeddy Bed. Mate, if Sane's starting, sorry, will beat Palace. I think Sane's definitely going to start, mate. Brad Niblot says, if Barca call for Otamendi, would like Umtiti. No, I've never really rated him, if I'm honest with you, Brad. Umtiti, I think it's a bit overrated. It's been confirmed that Delete will be leaving in summer. Yes, but looks like there are several people pushing him, his father, the club themselves, as to where he wants to go. But Louis van Gaal did turn around and say that he should be going to City. Come on, Delete will probably end up at Barca, probably. Glenn Mountain, Leeds needs to be back in the Prem. with the support. They absolutely agree, Glenn. Daniel Neiman, do you think Sancho will return one day to us? No, doubt it. JKUK, Rocky 5 was shocking. The end fight to that, my God. Yeah. Now, Chris Welch, I'd like to see Sunderland back, but that would be, for a while, Villa would be a great addition. Yeah, Villa got a great fan base, really have. So, loads and loads of fans out there. Loads of teams have got a superb fan base, but I would like to see the Sheffield clubs and certainly Leeds back in. Forest, yeah. Oh, well, so we're going to end up having to see Mark Goldbridge change his channel to the Forest stand or something like that. Craig Carter, if David Silva and KDB have to start tomorrow, who are you picking to play down the left and down the right? I won't pick David Silva tomorrow, mate. If I'm honest with you, I'd pick Kevin De Bruyne. Well, I'll go through my team. Here you go. I'll go. Elias Gaming is here. Hi, mate. How are you? Yeah, I know it's you, mate. I'll go through my team for tomorrow. And my team will be Edison in net. I'll go for Walker, Company, Laporte, and Danilo at left back. I'll go for Fernandinho, Bernardo Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne playing ahead of him. I'm going to go for Sane, Aguero, and Raheem Sterling up front. That'll be my team tomorrow. Niall, be the same as Di Matteo. Chelsea, yeah. Question, did Pep say that City would exceed 100 million? 100 million? What are you talking about there, Gary? Sorry, my voice is starting to go now. Did Pep say that City would exceed 100 million? What, 100 million, what? How's your day, big boss? How are you, kiddo? You alright? Kamal, what's the point of embargoed press conference? Because what happens is we get to see the general questions from the press, and then what they do is they sit down with the written press. So the journalists like Martin Samuel, Jonathan Northcroft, all those type of journals, and they write. So they've got to give them time to put out what they have to put out, and they have time, an hour, to sit down with Pep and the team and ask them more questions. So it takes time for them to go, produce it. That's the reason for the embargo. Get the egg yolks down, you Andy. Oh, I mean orange juice to help your voice. God, egg yolks. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I drink orange juice every day, and it's not helped me for this morning when I woke up. If Sane doesn't start, then he will likely leave. I'm not sure he will. If you could have 3 football guests. If I could have 3 football guests. What, are you talking about anybody? Are you talking about dead or alive? Or sorry, he said he wouldn't exceed 100 million. Yeah, I agree. Unless it's somebody exceptional. Obviously, if you were looking at going in, Gary, the likes of Mbappe, yeah, of course you're going to have to pay more than that. But you're not going to. Some of the young kids talking 100, 120 million euro. I don't think he'll go anywhere near it. Did you watch Spurs versus? I didn't, mate. I was out. Bagel's press conferences after the later papers. Yeah. Tony Maroney, sorry I'm late. Hi Andy. Hi everyone. How you doing, buddy? Tom, 3 football guests for a meal, past or present? Good question. I've had that before. Michael Cunningham, walk in the park, Sellers Park, Quillis Hours. I wish you had your optimism, mate. Chris Welsh off subject Sunderland for currently. Wow, that's some game. Daniel Neymar said he wants to play in the Premier League. Do you think he'll? No chance. I don't want Neymar at Man City, mate. He's a show pony. Bradley Block, thinking of starting to save money to get a train from Cumbria to Manchester, get a ticket for a match day. Would be good to meet you and Ray. Just unsure of getting my own way. Listen, mate, if you want a ticket, get your train from Cumbria to Manchester. Don't forget to get a return one. We'll get you a ticket for the game, Brad. We'll show you around Manchester and the Etihad Stadium. We'll sort you out. Don't worry about that. Just save up for your train fare and get a round trip from Cumbria to Manchester, Piccadilly, and one that can get you back after the game. And we'll sort you out with the rest, buddy. Don't worry about that. Lucas off to Spurs. Looks real good. He scored a hat-trick, I think, didn't he? Lucas Moura. Best supermarket. I don't know how shopping Sainsbury's, so and Waitrose, they're near us. Neymar most. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get Neymar. Sally were to go, how much would he cost? Man, Dembele, 100 million. I think Sane would be 150 million plus, if I'm honest. And City would put a massive figure on him. Huge. Ray said, I'm sure we'll sort you out a ticket, Brad. I'll send you an email soon. It's mcfcfantv@gmail.com. Send us an email, mate. If you can, try and get your voices, the evidence of watching Mahrez. My voice is, I don't know why it's like that today. But yeah, that doesn't help, certainly. Send us an email, Brad. It'd be great if you can. Obviously, tickets, we've only got a few matches left of the season at home. But if you want to come and you can save just your train fare, if you can get here on a round trip, that will get you back to Cumbria the same day. Probably better going for a Saturday game if you can. That way you'll have more time, sort of 3 o'clock kickoff, something like that, or an early kickoff. That way it'll give you more time to get back to Cumbria. Then I'm sure me and Ray will sort a ticket out for you, mate. And yeah, we'll meet you. We'll meet you at Piccadilly or whatever, or outside the stadium, and we'll look after you, buddy. Don't worry about that. Best Fortnum and Mason, like Ray shops at Fortnum and Mason all the time. Now, Brad Nimlock, if you need any help towards the train fare, mate, I'm happy to help. Yeah, I mean, we'll help you out as well. No problem whatsoever. Imagine if Mara starts tomorrow. Oh, I can't imagine it, JK UK. It'd be just distressing. If Mara's leaves, you and Ray should make a Mara's Watch Best Bits DVD. Yeah. We might need to do a Mara's Watch at the end of the season. Daniel Neyman, do you think that De Bruyne on his top form is best midfielder? I think on some of his form last season, without a shadow of a doubt, is the best midfielder in world football. Absolutely incredible. Not going to lie, crapping myself, Tony. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a tough game. Never heard of Fortnum and Mason. Must be right. Yeah, it is a posh place in London, but yeah, it's like, crazy. It's like saying, oh, I go and get my food from Harrods, or I just buy my food from Selfridges, and not many people do that. I'm sure we'll get a footage in together for next season, says Ray. Hey, Chris Baker, it'd be good to have friends of MCFC meet up before game. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. That's a great idea. If this season, it'd be wonderful if everybody on here, or people who can get there, we can meet up before the game or after the game and have a beer or two or whatever and chit chat. That'd be fantastic. That'd be really, really good. So if anybody can make a game this season who comes on the channel, send us an email at mcfcfantv@gmail.com. And what we'll do is we'll put some names together. We'll have a meet-up time, whatever else, and what suits everybody. And we'll meet up and have a good old sort of chit-chat about City. I hope you're okay, Brad. Sorry to hear about it a couple of days ago. Mara's watching the season special. That'd be great. Thanks, now. I have about 200 saved, just unsure how much it would cost. Mate, you don't need anywhere near that. Absolutely nowhere near that. Tom, we just put a list of scores up the season. It'll just be 0-0-0. Excuse me. Gary, where go to Mahrez? I wouldn't surprise. A team who I think would suit Mahrez was somebody like PSG. Do you think we'll ever have a chance of signing Messi? No chance, mate. What's your opinion of Blue Moon Rising DVD? The Cantona scene going around our City's fans' house. Let me maybe. Blooming Roses. I love that. I must admit, I love that. It would be brilliant, Mark, if somebody did that again. It'd be amazing if we had the time to do something like that over a whole season. Because I really liked it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I must admit, I did like that DVD, that video. If you haven't seen it, it's, everybody, it's going back, what, 5 years ago? And it was called Blue Moon Rising, and it was a group of fans, City fans, who bought a vehicle that they travelled around to home and away games with and things like that. And they did it for the season, and it was, yeah, it was. I really liked it. Blue Moon says Edison injured for Sunday. Joe Corrigan to take his place. I think Edison will be all right. JK UK, no Pep bought Maris, so the team's good game, just like Chelsea with Scott Parker. Possibly Leicester game for a meet up. There you go. Ray saying, I'm assuming Ray's saying, does everybody want to meet up for the Leicester game? If you're around, excuse me, Andy Ray, have either of you watched Bertram's? I still haven't. Yeah, you're off to watch it tonight now. I've still had a chance to watch it, mate. I can't wait. When I do get a chance, I'm definitely going to watch it. I noticed Arsenal Fan TV has changed to AFTV. We have to now. No, we won't. Miles could go up Burton Moon for all I can. Yeah. Tony Marone, tremendously bittersweet film. Blue Moon Rising, I loved it. Yeah, it was. It's Electro FX. That woman that every time she watched, we lost. That woman every time. Oh, you're talking about the film? Sorry, mate. Are you talking about the film Blue Moon Rising? Right. Okay. Sorry, mate. I'm reading other things in between, so when you're replying, sometimes I'm not sure whether you're talking about something different or not. Do you think Pep tried to buy Messi? I think he's had a word with him, but Messi, I think, it would cost 300-400 million euro to buy, and then absolute extortionate amount. Yeah, you feel. Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah. So you'll talk with David White. Seems like a great chat. Yeah, it was a difficult interview, Campbell. It was. I said I sat down with him over 2 days, and it was we were talking about some stuff that obviously is not all happy, clapping type of stuff. But it was great to speak to him. He was very open and honest with me, and just said, "I'll talk about whatever it is that you want to." Some of the stuff I didn't end up, I couldn't put on the channel for obvious reasons. But yeah, wonderful, a real pleasure sitting down with him for a couple of days and chatting about all sorts of stuff, him outside of football, his career and things like that. It was an amazing privilege. If you've not seen it, go over and check it out. We put it out sometime last summer, and it's like a 6-7 part series on there, talking about his career and his best players and some of the famous matches, and then obviously all the issues with the Barry Bennell case, and then what he's doing now with his book. Craig Carter, can't decide whether I want to see Mendy on the team sheet tomorrow or not. It's a risk, but I'd have him in. I would have him in, but I'm not sure whether he's fit or not. All or nothing now, Craig, for me, play Mendy. I mean, yeah, I'd go for Mendy. I'd just put Danilo in because I'm not sure where he stands on the fitness sort of scale with Pep. Seeing as Pep won't go over 100 million, then Ndombele had a question. No, I think Ndombele will probably be around about 18 million euro, if I'm being honest. Daniel Neyman, do you think Pep has a phone number from Messi? Do you think Pep has the phone number? Oh, I'm sure they speak often, Daniel. Tom, which player from the current squad would you like to meet for a chat? It's got to be Vinny Company. Yeah. Vinny, I'd like to meet Vinny. It'd be nice if we could meet him with this tackle for Manchester stuff. Just to have a quick 5-minute chat with him. But yeah, Vinny, I think I'd want to sit down and have a proper sort of chin wag with. Man City win the quadruple, would it be better central? Oh God, without a shadow of a doubt. It'd be the greatest season of any team in, I would suggest, English football history if City were to win the quadruple. Tony Maroney, sorry if it's already been covered, but Gundogan's comments about Liverpool didn't make me laugh. He's gone rogue. Yeah, I don't think Pep was too impressed with it, I must admit. Be interesting how many games he plays for the rest of the season because, yeah, I don't think Pep was too pleased about it. Do you think Pep rotated in Spurs game because he thinks we can win a quadruple? Possibly, Kamal. No idea what Pep thinks. Minimum motion. We feel like we need a good performance tomorrow, but in whilst, yeah, we've gone into this game management mode and sort of season management mode where we've got so many games. If it was just the Champions League and the Premier League, has been. I think it wouldn't be too bad, but then we had the FA Cup semi-final. We've got obviously the final coming up, so I think Pep's had to sort of go into this sort of game management mode and whatever else. And I don't think that's helped the team when he's rotated players and things like that. And then we've had a couple of niggles, and we thought we had the full squad back, and actually we didn't. And I don't think that's helped at all. But I would like him just to go full on for the next 4 or 5 games, just go absolutely full on with the best team we possibly have. Gundogan basically sort of said that he felt that City not bottled it, but City sort of didn't have the mental attitude in the Premier League and were too sort of safe and were too blah 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 blah. And he went in that, and Pep said, "I disagree." He said, "I thought we played well, and that's not the way." And I disagree with what Ilkay said. So that was after the Spurs defeat. When Company retires, you should try to get. Oh, I mean, it'd be great. I mean, he's not going to do anything with us until he retires, but hopefully, you never know. We're trying to raise as much money as we can for his charity through the artwork and the bids for the artwork that we've got signed. So who knows? Might be lucky enough to get a quick interview with him on camera, handing over a cheque or something like that for the money raised. Chris Welch, Gundogan said we were lucky to stay in Champions League. Yeah, Premier League. Turner and Gundogan, I think they've been extremely lucky in the past few months. They've scored lots of late goals recently. If we win the remaining 6 games, we'll be champions. That's a fact. Tom, if we only win the FA Cup from here, would that be a failure? I think it'd be a failure right now. I think if we just won the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and the Community Shield, I guess that's a treble, what Mourinho would say, then at this stage of the season, you'll probably go, yeah, it's probably a failure considering that we're right in the running for the Premier League. We're still in with a shout for the Champions League. So you'd have to look back on it and say an opportunity missed. So Sharon Hall says we need to smash Crystal Palace. I think we just take 3 points. I'll be honest, Sharon, I'm not bothered what score is. 3 points are all that matters this day and age. James Buckley, what player would you take out of Spurs team except Kane or Eriksen? What, with the exception of Kane or Eriksen? I'd probably take Ali because he's a young English player, or Harry Winks. I'm sure Pep would make them better players, if I'm honest. Gary Danini's got some stones saying that considering the Guardiola is one of the greatest football minds on the planet, let's be honest, he shouldn't really be quite. Well, yeah, I agree, Gary. I agree. I don't know why Gundogan would criticise it to media. Maybe he's looking for a move away. Like I said, he's already refused at this point to sign a contract, which is fine. It's his prerogative. I would certainly be, if I was cheeky and Ferran, I'd be saying to him, the season ends on this day. If you've not signed within 7 days of that, we're going to put you on a transfer list, and that's it. It's entirely up to you. You know where we stand, blah, 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 blah. Don't believe in it until the last few days of the transfer window in the summer to tell us that, you're staying for another year, and then we lose out on anything. Now, I would just play hardball with him. I think Foden can easily replace Gundogan. Gundogan's a great player, but like I said, great going forward when there's absolutely no pressure on him. He's a wonderful, wonderful player. When people press him, he's got no legs. He's so slow. Like I said, I keep referring to it. It's like he's running in treacle. He can't get back. He doesn't have the energy, but he's a very technically gifted player. There's no doubt about it. So I would turn around and say, I would say to him, if you don't want to sign, we've got Phil Foden. So here's your choice. You sign by the end of next week, or we'll put you on the market. It's that simple, and we'll sell you. And we've got Phil Foden to come straight in to replace you. So that'd be my take on Ilkay Gundogan. He's obviously looking for a big final payday, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing for him to do, but no, not for me. 3 points are all that matters, yeah. 2 or 3 trophies of failure, how we change. Yeah, it just shows you, Tony, doesn't it? It does honestly show you that. If we won 2, would we be disappointed? Probably. God, go back 20 years, we would, rip your arm off for 1. Lucas or Son. Oh, Son over Lucas every single. I know he scored a hat-trick today, but Son is a great player. Danny Rose. Actually, I missed Son before. Son, I would take. Who's captain material? I think John Stones is. Certainly. I think Otamendi is captain material. I'd say Bernardo Silva in the future. Not now, but in the future could be. You need Lemsip. I do, mate. I've taken 2 or 3 Lemsips and paracetamols, and I think probably took too much. I've got another one here, but it's cold now. Gundogan gone in the summer. You can't say that. Sorry. I'm going to be honest. He's 28. To be honest, he's 28 years old, not playing consistent for City. So, yeah, of course, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, Gary. There's nothing wrong with him wanting a last big move. Absolutely not. Just one thing I want to, don't piss City about, you've got to remember that, Gundogan's had 2 years of a lot of injuries, and City have paid him a lot of money. So don't piss us about. Be honest and think, either I'm going to sign a 3-year extension, or I want to go and get a big payday. And if he does, that's absolutely fine. Nobody would ever question that. I'm sure that, there'll be the odd ones, but on the whole, City would just go, fine, fair enough. Let's get some money back off you at least. And we might get 10 million if we sold him to another club. But don't piss us about and leave it to the last week of the season, because I'll tell you what, that will definitely, if you're here next season and you've done that and we can't sell you, that will turn City fans against you. Gonna be 3rd choice next season behind him. I agree. We'll win the quadruple. Do you think one player from us will win the Ballon d'Or? What do you think, Daniel? Gabriel Kwong. Hey, man. Where are you from? Where are you from, mate? I've not seen you before. If Gundogan did leave the summer, how would you look back on this year's club pool transfer? Cautious transfer, Niall. I'd say the club were cautious. I think this year's transfer was heading towards this summer's transfer. I think this summer's transfer will be far more important than what we did last summer. Otamendi, I wouldn't sell Otamendi. Mahrez and Delph, maybe. Otamendi at a pace, great centre-back. It's been very consistent over the last 18 months for City. Gabriel. KDB, yeah, good shout. Let him talk, let KDB talk. Foden in a few years, yeah. I think Gundogan and Mahrez will leave in the summer. I can't see Mahrez going. Nico isn't captain, he's a general, yeah. Man City has to have more English players. Don't see why, other teams don't have them. You watching that again later? What time? I think it's 5:30 kickoff. Yeah, I'll probably tune in a little bit. Foden in, Gundogan out. I rate Gundogan. Yeah, I think he's a great player. Like I said before, Thomas, when nobody pressures him, he's a wonderful player. He's got all the time in the world, but when they pressure him, he's too slow and slows the play down. He's doing exactly what Milner did. That's my concern. I don't know whether he is doing what Milner did, but that's my concern, JKUK. I think I'd hate to be in that position again. I just don't get it why Danilo is not playing while Pep played Dave. Yeah, we don't, Gabriel. We don't understand that. Mendy and his shenanigans. You know what, mate? I replied back to the guy who actually posted that live footage at 3 o'clock in the morning in a club in Manchester, and I said to him, he posted that, here you go, Mendy pissed, blah, blah. And I said to him, Mendy's a Muslim and doesn't drink. So at least if you're going to post videos at 3 o'clock in the morning, allegedly, at least get it right. Don't be saying he's pissed and he's that. And Mendy's a Muslim and does not drink. So get your facts right. And he didn't have a game the next day. He was in at training at 11 o'clock. So if you think he went, I have got a cold, Kazim, I'm full of a cold this morning when I woke up. I think we'll do it. Yeah, so, just at least get your facts right. He was in for light training. He wasn't in for full training. He was in just for a light session at 11 o'clock, which was 8 hours later. So if you went to bed at midnight and got up at 7, would anyone complain that you had 7 hours sleep? And he lives local. Yeah, I mean, it's just garbage. Top 4 for me: City, Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal. City win the quadruple, I would never want anything else again. An argument with Man United, so I say it would just exactly that, mate, Gary. If we won the quadruple, I think, watch Ray's video on Neek Sports, and he said, and even they said that was, sorry, my nose is running. I don't really want to do a big blow on camera. And I think Ray said it, and the United fans who were interviewing him said, can you just imagine, City winning the quadruple? There'd be no comeback. There'd be absolutely no comeback whatsoever. And that would just be it. Only reason, Jamie Buckley, only reason I dislike City because they spend so much money. Jamie, who do you support? Are you a Spurs fan by any chance? And be honest, I'm not having a go at you. I'm just saying, are you a Spurs fan? Because you said because they spend so much money. And all of us, yeah, you are. Right, okay. Well, you've not spent money on your squad. You spent it on your stadium. And again, I'm not having a go at you, and this isn't just like me versus you, Jamie. But you've spent nothing and won nothing. You've won absolutely nothing. You're one of those teams that you've created money and spent nearly £1 billion on a stadium, but I've got nothing to show for it, absolutely nothing. Yet teams like United have spent millions upon millions, Liverpool millions upon millions, Chelsea millions upon millions, City millions upon millions, and Arsenal have spent lots of money since the Premier League inception. These are the teams that are the most successful teams in Premier League history. If you don't invest, you win nothing. You win absolutely nothing. So if you don't like us, what you're saying is, but Poch is making a project. He's been making a project for the last 4 years. That's the same argument as Klopp. Well, I've spent £450 million at Liverpool since I've been here and won nothing. Won absolutely nothing. City have spent less over the last 18 months than Klopp has, and yet won a double last year, including the Premier League. And we've already won the Community Shield. We've already won the Carabao Cup. We're probably, without being arrogant, win the FA Cup. We're still in for the Premier League and we're in the Champions League. That's what investment does. I would say if you don't invest in your squad, you're not ambitious. It's a business. And I think if I had to sum up, we said look at Sir Alex Ferguson, how long did it take? It took him 5-6 years, but then spent more than anybody in the Premier League for the next 16 years. Made the biggest purchases, Rio Ferdinand, Wayne Rooney, Veron, broke transfer records left, right and centre for the best players that he could possibly get in at United. Hence why they continually were so good year in, year out. So, if you don't invest in your squad, that is not a badge that you wear. That's saying you've no ambition as a club to win anything. It's saying that your targets are, well, we hope we might get into the top 4 so we can get Champions League football, so we can earn 30-40 million quid. We are making progress with the stadium, so more money to buy for players. But yeah, but before the plans were, you've got to go back. I don't know how long you've been following Spurs. You've got to go back to the days of Lord Sugar. And you didn't invest money. You invested some money, but you've never been a club that's invested and tried to progress year in, year out and build a big squad, and then invest money and then invest more money and then keep building your squad. You've never done that. You never invested huge amounts of money prior to the announcement that you were going to move stadium or build a stadium. That's not your model. Your model by your owners is all about making money for the business. And I tell you now, you've got a bigger stadium with it. You'll have, if you fill it week in, week out, it's all right when a stadium is new. If you fill that stadium week in, week out, week in, week out, and you'll make all this money. Remember, money does not come from fan base. You don't make any money. It's irrelevant. You make money, but it's irrelevant in the concept of what you get paid for TV revenue and things like that. You will make more money by being in the Champions League and being up there with the best teams in Europe, playing year in, year out in the Champions League. If you do not get Champions League football this season after spending nearly £1 billion on your stadium, it will be an absolute disaster. It will be a disaster. Not only will some of your bigger players move away and start looking at other clubs, but what you've got is you cannot rely on 30-40 million quid. You'll be lucky if you made 5 to 20 million quid if you're lucky. If you're lucky from your gate receipts. Yet you'll earn 3 times that from being in the Champions League. So if you don't invest in your squad, you're not going anywhere. You're going absolutely nowhere. So having a brilliant stadium, and it is, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not having a go at you. I'm just trying to say, don't talk about, well, you spent money. All teams throughout history, there was a brilliant, if you ever see it on Twitter, there's a brilliant graphic. It's a motion graphic, and it shows you the biggest investment or spend on players in clubs throughout Europe, not just the UK, but in Europe. And it went from 1992, because obviously 92 is when sort of the Premier League started. So a lot of these, and I know these facts and figures prior to that, but from 92 until to the present day, it shows you each team, this graphic, as the timeline progresses. And what it shows you is that United and Liverpool were right up in the top 5 teams, pretty much constant up until 2008. As the biggest spending clubs in Europe, along with Real Madrid, Barcelona, Inter Milan, AC Milan, right the way through from 92 to 2008, or 2005, when Chelsea started to take over, and then City started to spend more. So for a massive period of time, 15, 16 years, United and Liverpool and Arsenal and others were spending huge amounts of money, and they were the most successful teams. When Chelsea came in, they suddenly became successful because they spent money on players. They invested it in the team that is going to win them something. And then City came in, invested in the team that was going to win them something. And that has just progressed and progressed and progressed. Tottenham haven't done it. Tottenham have just thought about, Daniel Levy and the board just think about making money for the shareholders. That is it. They don't give a shit about the team. Absolutely nothing. So you can have 68,000 fans every single week. You'd be lucky if you made about 20 million quid over the year. Yet if you were in the Champions League position and winning something, an FA Cup or a League Cup even, God forbid, then your profile increases significantly. So that 20 million will become 60 million, 80 million that you can invest in players. But at the moment, you've got no money because your stadium, all they're interested in is recouping money from your fans. And that is it. Simple as. So I don't want to have a go at you, mate, but, if you're going to come on here talking about City have only done it because of money, of course we have. Absolutely. Nobody's saying that we haven't. But we've invested in the right things where you haven't. It's that simple. You're developing a player like Winks, Dele and Kane, and look at Sissoko this season. Do you think Winks, Dele and Kane will be there in 24 months' time if you've won nothing? The stadium is not going to keep them there. It's a nonsensical argument. Why would you pay? Why? Well, I'll tell you what. Winks is probably on 50 grand a week. Dele Alli's probably on 120 grand a week. Kane's probably on 250 grand a week. And Sissoko's probably on 100 grand a week. Do you not think City could pay, well, just let's say City. City could pay Winks 200 grand a week. No problem whatsoever. Dele Alli the same. Kane, 350 grand a week, making the highest paid player at Man City. And Sissoko, we'll give him 10 grand a week because I don't think he's that great. So we could, Real Madrid could, United could, Liverpool could, Chelsea could, Barcelona could, AC Milan could, Inter Milan could, Juventus could. All of these teams could pay those players double, treble what they're on now. Why would they stay at Spurs if they are winning nothing? Why? Why would they? I wouldn't. You wouldn't. And I don't think many football players would. So that's your problem. If you don't win something, you can have the best stadium in the world. If you don't win anything, it's history for those players because it becomes a continuous cycle that the players won't go there because Spurs never win anything. And the only way you get those players to go to your club is to pay them absolutely huge amounts of money. Like Alexis Sanchez is getting at Man United. But we're not in United's league when it comes to wages. So the players will not stay at Spurs if you don't win something. And if you don't get a top four, it's an absolute meltdown of a disaster for next season. Huge disaster. Absolutely massive. You imagine Harry Kane walking into that stadium saying, well, yeah, we've got Premier League, but we've got no Champions League. Oh, we're in the Europa League. Thursday night football, brilliant. That's great. Dele Alli, Harry Winks, Sissoko. We've got to look forward to sort of qualifying or we're going to be in the Europa League. Why would they want to stay there? You'd have to win the Premier League next season to justify them staying at your club next season. You'd have to. Because if you didn't, a Europa League ain't going to keep them there, mate. Absolutely not. So, if you're going to come on here, at least have some perspective on what you're talking about, buddy. Anyway, can see many playing tomorrow. So that's my rant over. I apologise, and now my nose is running, so I doubly apologise. I remember thinking Old Trafford was a great stadium years ago anymore. Oh, God, it's horrendous. I remember going there, taking my kids to see some charity thing, Robbie Williams stuff. And we were looking at it going, God, this is awful. Newcastle get 50,000 a game and they've only just broke their club record signing to 15 million for Michael. There you go. Pep needs to bring in Gabriel Jesus and play brave. He's in form right now, but instead he played Aguero just fresh out. He's always going to play Aguero ahead of Jesus, and Jesus understands that, Gabriel. Scott Williams, Andy, on another matter, my missus is from Tarpley. All right, we weren't sure if the Letters or the Bear is closing time. All right, mate, the Bear has closed, which is a real shame. The tie there, the Bear at the Ragged Staff. The Letters is still ongoing, and you got the Sportsman's opposite. Both are full at the weekend. So do you live in Tarpley, or is she just moved? Was she originally from Tarpley? Because obviously I'm in Tattenhall. If Sanchez joined City, how do you think he would have done? Would he have been better? I think Sanchez would have done really well under Pep Guardiola. He now knows that he would. I mean, obviously his bank manager doesn't regret it, and he doesn't. But I think from a footballing perspective, I think Pep would have really integrated Sanchez, and I think he would have made him. I mean, let's face it, forget what he's done for United. If you look at Sanchez prior to his move, he was wonderful, wonderful player. Probably one of the best 5 players in world football at the time. So, yeah, he's made a massive mistake. We didn't win trophies because we moved in Teta. We won things when the owners invested in the team. Exactly, Chris. If you want to win Champions League, you have to spend money. Of course you've got to spend money. Nobody's saying, it's, Nirvana like I don't know, Leicester winning the Premier League. It's a Nirvana state whereby you don't invest. I mean, you look at Sevilla and you think what they've done in the Europa League, not really investing and selling their best players, is a wonderful achievement. But you just look at who's won the Premier League and who's won the Champions League. They've all been mainly teams that have invested tens and tens and hundreds of £1,000,000 in players. You've got to buy, in this day and age, you've got to buy it. Leicester was a one-off. And anyone who says different is talking bullshit. JKUK. When I say Newcastle are a big club, big fan base, big club, I don't go down the arguments of big club. You know, it's very hard to define what a big club is. Blue Moon, there's so many different variants as to how would you call somebody big. Is it because of their fan base worldwide? Then you go Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool and United. Far bigger than City, far bigger. Probably even Spurs, if that was the case. Does that mean that we're not a big club? If you're talking about fan base. If you're talking about how many does a stadium hold? Of course, we're up there. So are Newcastle. Does it talk about trophies? There's so many variants that, and that's why I don't get into debate when people say you're not a big club. It's like, what is a big club? Because you've got to start off with defining what is a big club at the end of the day. So I think it's a nonsensical argument unless somebody says these are the defining factors of what makes somebody big. And then you can either agree with those defining factors or you don't, one or the other. And then you either get into the argument over this, this, and this, or you don't. So I tend to, when people say big, I don't buy into it because if you're talking about fan base, City still have the biggest, largest sort of, English attendance in there's ever been. Does that make us a big club? No. That's not all. That's not a defining factor as why we'd be a big club. The rest of the big six don't interest. The season of Mara's level is that it's restricted by instructions guardrail, not playing freely. He preferred to get passes through the right line, proceeds there, that destroyed him. I mean, Lorenzo, I'll be honest with you, I'm struggling with Mahrez. I'm seeing this season, I'm thinking, is he intelligent enough to take on Pep's instructions? I'm not sure he is. I think Sanchez at the time was 29. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I wouldn't, was I happy we were going in for somebody so old? Not really. And then when I heard how much we wanted, I was thinking, definitely not. Why people always say how much we spent, it ain't the money, so I should. Yeah, exactly, it's not our money. It's like, agree with your thoughts on big clubs. What I hate people saying we have no history. Yeah, the history thing is a completely different argument. Big club is, it's all subjective. Why everyone talking about just Man City spending so much money for players? Yeah, 480 million quid, but nobody says it's just because of who we are. It's because we're successful. If we spent that money and not won anything for 5-6 years, nobody would be saying a single thing. It's just the fact that people are obviously scared that we're going to dominate the Premier League for the next, 5-10 years. Well, haters going to hate, players going to play. Yeah. Class fellow, we're both in London now, but you made her day. Cheers for the shout. She never normally listens. Oh, you're welcome, Scott. Listen, if you're ever up this way, buddy, just get in touch and we'll go for a beer. You and your missus, we'll go for a beer. I'll take you to the Letters or the Sportsman's or wherever. If you're back up this way, she's visiting, I don't know, relatives or something like that. You're more than welcome. I mean, Mahrez, when he was in Leicester, was playing freely, dribbling, tackling. I think not fit with Guardiola's style. He should do. Yeah, I agree. Don't fit Guardiola. I don't think he can take on Guardiola's instructions. I don't think he's intelligent enough, if I'm being really honest. Not really sold on Jesus, to be honest, Andy. He's just, young. Got to give him a chance. He's only 22. I'll always say that. 22. If he's 24, 25, it's not working. I agree with you, Gary. Remember when Chelsea came to visit before 20, they sang "Stand Up If You Won the League." Looks like their face, their face when we all stood up. Brilliant, Tony. I don't like Mahrez at the start because he forced a move from Leicester. But, well, all players. He has no affiliation and loyalty to Leicester. He has no affiliation and loyalty to Man City. Neither does Raheem Sterling, neither does Sergio Aguero, neither does David Silva, neither does Gabriel Jesus, neither does John Stones. The only person who might have any loyalty to City would be your likes of your Zabaleta, your likes of your company, the likes of your Phil Foden. Those players might have an affiliation. You know, it's a job. People forget this. It's a job for them. And if they can say, I'll earn 10 million this year or have been offered 30 million, you take it, I take it, we'd all take it. Unless we're ones that I think we've got 100 million in the bank and money's not an issue and I'll stay here. Come on, let's be realistic about it. Unless you come from Manchester or the surrounding area or play for City all your life, why would you have an affiliation unless you played there for the number of years that the likes of Zaba, the likes of, all right, let's say David Silva, Aguero, Vincent Kompany have played for? You know, why would you? It's a job at the end of the day. And when they leave, they're not going to stay in Manchester. Vinny might, Zaba might, but the likes of Aguero will go back to Buenos Aires. The likes of David Silva will go back to Gran Canaria because that's where they're from. That's where their families are, their friends and everything else. Let's not get hung up in, you know, this whole thing. If they want to leave, they want to leave. It's a business deal at the end of the day. Nobody would slag you off for moving from your business to somebody else if they offered you more money. That is just the way. They'd be jealous. They might slag you off because they're jealous, and you won't think twice about it, you know, at the end of the day. So I don't get all this argument. I spent a lot of fighting good performance tomorrow. I'm hoping so, Brad. Pep wanted Sanchez to replace Aguero, though, didn't he? He did, and thank God we didn't get him. Sanchez and Aguero completely different. They are. Gary C, Jesus is young. Potential. He is young, and we've got to give him time. Would you be happy to keep Mahrez if he was happy just being squad player every day? Not for 60 million quid, no. No, 150 grand a week, 60 million quid, no. Needs to be doing far more than what he's been doing. Jesus start tomorrow, after all players. But yeah, and quite possibly, and I always say this, and I'm going to go now because we've been on for like 81 minutes. So with Pep, you just never know. And I'm sure he's thinking about Spurs, but tomorrow's an absolute priority, and I think it's if anything, we play the best possible team we can, get a couple of goals, and if it means 20 minutes left, we rest some players, get them off and put some subs on, then that's it, because it's all about 3 points tomorrow, and 3 points are absolutely critical. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I've got to go. I need to have a proper good blow on my nose. I reckon we get 40 million maximum. I agree, Kamal. Who do we replace David Silva with? Says Devanch, Phil Foden. No, cheers on the enjoy the game. I'll enjoy it. I'll be nervous, whatever else. And thanks, Andy Ray. Thanks all. Come on, City, you too. Bye, Sharon. Don't forget, check in tomorrow. Sadly, Ray is flying back to France. He's had a bit of a family emergency, and he's had to fly back to late notice. He's had to fly back to France, so he's not going to be at the game tomorrow. I've got a family appointment first thing in the morning, that's hence why I couldn't go to the game. So we're not going to actually be there tomorrow. But we have got somebody on here who's going to be doing some videos for us, and I'm not going to say who he is. I'll let you think about it. But he's at the game already with some friends and family and that, and he's going to doing some videos for us down there. So no, it's not Omar. Though I'm sure Omar will be down there. Kamal. He's been on this timeline chat. So we'll put some videos out tomorrow. I'll be around for before the game starts. So if this person can get some videos back to me, some interviews outside Sellers Park with his mates and things like that, and maybe some crowd chants and things, I'll be here. But Ray's got to go back to France, so there'll be a live stream tomorrow. You need to check in. I'll probably do a live stream sometime an hour or two before the game. I'll definitely be doing a live stream after the game. But like I say, in between, I'll be whatever videos come back from this person, I'll be putting them out on the channel. Hope everything's okay, right? Yeah, I'm sure it will be, mate. But he's had to catch a flight back to France at very short notice. So I'm sure that's why he's not on here anymore. He's probably at the airport now. So anyway, I'm sure everything's fine. Don't worry. But he does need to be in France. So anyway, that's just the way things roll. And I'm sure. Yeah, he's still here. Live stream reaction of team news is always good. Yeah, we'll do that, Brad. Definitely. As soon as the team news comes out, I'll be here doing a live stream, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. First time on here, Abdullah Musa. You missed it, mate. We've been on for sort of 85 minutes. So what you need to do is don't forget, this video will airport security. No surprise there, mate. This video will render and upload to the channel in about 10-15 minutes, because it's quite a big one, as it normally is. And then you'll be able to watch it back and see the comments and whatever else that you want to do. But anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Ray, have a safe trip, mate. I hope everything works out over there. I'll be back tomorrow morning, and at some point, there's a fella in front of me putting some gloves on. There you go. Drop your pants, bend over. Yeah, check back in on the channel tomorrow. We will do. My worry for the second leg against Spurs is that we'll win, but worry about Spurs getting away. Well, we'll see, mate. We'll chat more about that before the Spurs game. I'm going to do another sort of pre-match chat with Chris from the Tottenham Fan TV channel. We're going to do that probably tomorrow, put it out for Monday or Tuesday. But anyway, did that already. Why is he putting the gloves on? Yeah, it's probably because you dropped your pants, mate. That's why he's putting his gloves on. If you didn't do that, maybe you wouldn't. But anyway, guys, thank you so much again. Absolutely brilliant. Don't forget, spread the word. If you've got a football fan, you don't have to be Man City. Obviously, most of them are Man City fans. But if you've got friends who like having a live chat on football fan channels, as long as you keep it clean, there's no racism and there's nothing like that. Otherwise, we'll ban you and we will report you. It's that simple. Abdullah says, just subscribe, mate. Didn't know about the channel. Brilliant. Thank you. Get the word out there. He's just putting his lipstick on too. Oh, you're in trouble, buddy. Yeah, we do a live vlog every day. I can't say we're going to do one every single day because it depends on our workload. But we tend to do a live vlog every day around about 4 o'clock. We also put out all the videos, so don't forget, go and check Tobias's video on the best young German footballers out there that might come to the Premier League in the summer. Also, the video I put out yesterday on the Puma concept kits that are out there, and look back on some of the old kits and thinking which ones are the best ones out there. Late to the party, I'll catch up Wednesday. Okay, Cheshire Homebrew, don't worry, buddy. You can catch the video in about 15-20 minutes. You can watch it back whenever you get time. Yeah, I agree, Gabrielle. They do have the same front trio, and we need to be doing a little bit more, but the same. But anyway, I've got to go blow my nose. Thank you so much for all your comments today. You've been absolute stars. And if you're not, tell your friends, subscribe, click notification. If you can give this video a thumbs up and a like, that'd be really appreciative. And what we'll do is we'll check back in tomorrow, and we'll talk about the run-up and the build-up to the Palace game. We'll look at when the team news comes out. We'll get some videos out on the channel from live and from Selhurst Park, and then we'll be talking to fans after the game, and I'll be live looking at the reactions from you guys on whatever the performance was, whatever the result was. But anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Ray, have a safe trip, mate, and I hope everything goes all right back in Paris. And guys, thank you again. Take care. See you soon. And thank you for tuning in.